Good evening, folks. Dr. Freedom here with you. Times for Doctor News. News from in and around the universe, or may or may not make you go into a screaming tantrum and go wild upon the internet with your keyboards, because that is what happened over the last couple of days. As much as I'd like to not bring it up, but at the same, I have to, because it's gotten out of hand. It really has. Someone tried to start an online petition. Apparently, several people have, to try to make the BBC change the Doctor, back to a male. And I'm like, Doctor hasn't even changed yet. That's not coming up till December. Matter of fact, from what we've read, Rachel Taylor apparently will be directing Jodie Whittaker's bits, and they're not going to get filmed till I think sometime this week or early next week. I have to go double check, but I believe it's this week. So yeah, that's how she originally did not know who it is, because they wrapped on Peter Capaldi's stuff, and that was basically it. And they saved Jodie Whittaker's bit for later. So that's not getting filmed till like either this week or next week. I think it's this week. Oh, I think it is this week. Oh, sorry, I have to go double check my notes. Oh no, I said too many times. There'll be murder in the streets. Okay, so we got to move on with it. Let's go on with it. Let's get to the news. Now, before all you guys have been running out there going absolutely crazy, this almost happened before. Some of you may already know this story. How Doctor Who nearly became a time lady, and this was the creator of Doctor Who urged the BBC to give the character a sex change in a desperate bid to prevent the series from being canceled. It can be revealed. Now, Sidney Newman, who devised the long-running science fiction show when he was head of BBC Drama in the 1960s, was asked to help after the show suffered a slump in ratings in the 1980s and was taken off the air temporarily. He told Michael Gray, then the controller of BBC One, that the ailing series could only be saved by regenerating the Time Lord into a time lady. Newman criticized the direction the show had taken, but it insisted that it could be revived by turning the lead character into a heroine. Now, had the device been accepted, actresses who could have been considered for the role included Frances de la Tour, Joanna Lumley, and Dawn French. Now, instead, the BBC played it safe and replaced the incumbent Dr. Colin Baker with another male actor, Sylvester McCoy, at that time a little-known children's entertainer. I heard he actually got in The Hobbit. Is that true? Oh, well, all right. So, in a pitch the written pitch dated October 6, 1986, the Canadian-born television executive delivered a scathing verdict on the show's populist, dumbed-down drift and called on Michael Gray to engage the concerns, fears, and curiosity of younger viewers. And he said, don't you agree that this is considerably more worthy of the BBC than Doctor Who's presently largely socially valueless escapist schlock? And it goes on from there. But I thought that was very interesting given the current situation. There's been a lot of really crazed fan conspiracy theories out there. We're going to dispel a couple of them here in a minute, all right? All right, so moving on. All right, over in the Entertainment Weekly, I thought this was very, very interesting. Jodie Whittaker, what you need to know about the new star of Doctor Who. And it goes over some really good stuff. She's talking about her time with Chibnall. She's no stranger to science fiction. Some people have actually asked me to go watch Attack the Block. I may have to look it up and give it a view, because I do want to get to know her work. I want to see what kind of actress we're dealing with. They'll take a look at some of her previous performances. All right, she got her big break working with Peter O'Toole. She was in an Oscar-nominated film. She'll take over the role this Christmas, and there's a whole, well, actually, that's about it. But it just gives you some basics to play around with, in case you're curious. All right, moving on. Doctor Who showrunner Chris Chibnall, and then they're supposed to back this up. Sorry, I got my articles a little bit screwed up. And I'm sorry if I'm getting nasally on you. It's my, darn freaking allergies. It's been some really weird days out here. Doctor Who's new showrunner Chris Chibnall has just become a doctor. That's right. Whilst the internet continues to debate over his choice as the new doctor, incoming Doctor Who showrunner has been at Edge Hill University this morning to accept an honorary doctorate in literature. So congrats to the Chib. A very interesting bit there. Moving on. Jodie Whittaker and other sci-fi women breaking the glass ceiling. Now, A lot of people have been going on and on about, well, the Doctor has been traditionally a male role. We can't have this happen. It's going to lead to the show's ruin. And there's one of my favorites. What if Mark Hamill had been replaced by a female? Hello? Daisy Ridley plays a character called Rey, who came from a desert planet and is becoming a new Jedi. Or let's not talk, or we're talking Star Wars, let's talk about another little character called Jyn Erso. Let's talk about another character called Wonder Woman. You see what I mean? This, whether you like it or not, this is the era you are in. Either you accept change and move on, or stagnate and fall off the vine and plop in the dirt. I'm sorry, but that's the way it is. And a lot of people have been giving me crap because I've been criticizing people in the comment box. And so it has nothing to do with it being the 21st century. Yes, it does. Because I just showed you an example of a guy who came up, the guy who actually created the show, who was living in that era. And if all of you have seen Adventure in Space and Time, you saw how women were treated. This is a guy who came up out of that era in the 80s and said you should have had a woman doctor then to save the show. Yet no, all I've been hearing is, it's 1989 all over again. No, it's not. It will be, though, if you continue doing the same thing over and over again. Change is hard to accept. I'm very sorry. It is. But one of the things you'll learn as you get older is sometimes change can be for the better. You have to give changes a chance. And there's changes you can't control. You just have to embrace. All right. So this just gives you a few interesting examples. Matter of fact, how many of us remember, Xena Warrior Princess? Here's Zoe Saldana, who's not only played Uhura in Star Trek, but that's traditionally a female role. But remember Guardians of the Galaxy, Gamora? Not to mention Karen Gillan, who plays her sister Nebula, who's done many other things on her own. Has become very popular. Heck, Princess Leia, Carrie Fisher, very, very powerful female character. Nobody's been going off on her. Oh, that's right, because Princess Leia was never a male. Well, sorry, it's been firmly established that Gallifreyans are pretty much gender fluid. And that's part of the so-called Moffat conspiracy. Hang on. So I thought this would be very interesting given the circumstances. So I'm going to leave this one for you to read. Moving on. Okay, 13th Doctor announced Jodie Whittaker. She goes, I'm beyond excited to begin this epic journey with Chris and every Whovian on this planet. It's more than an honor to play the Doctor. It means remembering everyone I used to be while stepping forward to embrace everything the Doctor stands for. Hope. I can't wait. Now, Chibnall, I always knew I wanted their 13th Doctor to be a woman, and we're thrilled to have secured our #1 choice. Her audition for the Doctor simply blew us all away. Jodie is an in-demand, funny, inspiring, super smart force of nature, and will bring loads of wit, strength, and warmth to the role. The 13th Doctor is on her way. Peter Capaldi, as a matter of fact, I forgot to take that article out, but I'll leave it because it does have a little bit more in it. Anyone who has seen Jodie Whittaker's work will know that she's a wonderful actress, a great individuality and charm. She has above all the huge heart to play this most special part. She's going to be a fantastic Doctor. And this goes on and on and on with some other folks here. Matt Stevens, Piers Wenger, and of course Charlotte Moore. And keep in mind, this is director of BBC content. This is BBC controller drama, and Mark Stevens, executive producer. This wasn't a one-person decision. Well, actually, it was Chibnall's. But this wasn't a Moffat conspiracy is what I'm trying to say. And a lot of people are pushing that Moffat did it on purpose to sabotage the show. That's one thing I've actually read in the comments. Okay, and this gives her little questionnaire. Matter of fact, following the news she had been cast, Jodie Whittaker has been talking about the role and her feelings on becoming the #1 Time Lord. Well, she's number 13 Time Lord, but she goes on and on. I'll be here. I want to tell the fans not to be scared by my gender because this is a really exciting time. Doctor Who represents everything that's exciting about change. The fans have lived through so many changes, and this is only a new, different one, not a fearful one. So Oh, by the way, this also tells how Chris sold her the part. That she had asked him if she could play a baddie. He quickly diverted the conversation to suggest I should consider auctioning. I was about to say auctioning. Hey, Lord, you know, they sold to America. Okay, well, all right. Consider auctioning. Oh, God, I almost said it again. Auditioning to be the 13th Clooney. Now, this was a code in her own house and all that for the Doctor. Okay, so that she was allowed to tell her family, and that was it. Okay, it was the most incredible chat because I asked every question under the sun, and I said I'd take a few weeks to decide whether I was going to audition. He got a phone call within 24 hours. He would have got a phone call sooner, but my husband was away, and there was a time difference. All right, did he persuade you? No, there was no persuasion needed. If you needed to be persuaded to do this part, you're not right for this part, and this part isn't right for you. I also think if for anyone taking this on, you have to want to fight for it, which I certainly had to do. I know there will have been some phenomenal actors who have threw their hats in the ring. And of course, yeah, wardrobe and all that is currently unknown. But it's amazing the outpouring of support she's gotten from the classic cast, from classic doctors, from folks who have been on the new show. But it's just upsetting to me, some of the fans' reactions that I've been seeing. I've been watching the show for 40 or 50 or 60 freaking years, or whatever, 50 years, sorry. Therefore, I am entitled to be able to run the show. Sorry, that's not how it works. I've been watching the show since summer of '83. Doesn't mean that I get to walk into the BBC, knock on the door, and say, hey, Chib, I want you to do this, this, and this, or I'm going to not watch your show anymore. That's just such a sad case of entitlement. It makes me sick. You should be appreciative of the fact this show is still here. Quit running around bringing the death knells. Where my favorite one, rest in peace, and then they give a date. Grow the hell up. Start acting like adults. If you really have been watching this show for 30, 40, 50 years, you're more than above the age of 5. I'm not kidding. Sorry if I sound upset, but that is the reaction I'm getting. You want to act immature, you want to act like a child, you'll get talked to like one. Thank you. Ran over. Moving on. Peter Capaldi on new Dr. Jodie Whittaker. She's going to be a fantastic doctor. And, of course, I've already played that quote, but, here's some other, little bit of stuff that wasn't in that article. But like I said, there's not really that much. I was going to cut this article originally, and I forgot my bad. Okay. Now, I left this on because even though it covers all the other ones, here's one they didn't cover over on Doctor News. And that is Emily Cook, editorial assistant to Doctor Magazine, said, quote, I'm very excited about this. As soon as I saw Jodie Whittaker appear on the video and the BBC clip announcing her, it just felt right. She just felt like the Doctor. Having a female Doctor is really exciting and significant. I cannot wait to see what she does with the role and where she takes the show. She will bring a freshness. She is younger than Peter Capaldi, and being a woman, she'll have a different approach to the role. It's completely new territory for the show, and that is very exciting. Whittaker has worked with David Tennant on Broadchurch and St. Trinian's, so there is a strong Doctor Who connection there. Now, Erica Lear, the social secretary of the Doctor Who Appreciation Society, said, quote, I think it's very brave, but she is a brilliant actress. I did not expect it, but I think it's brilliant. My only wish is that we have a good actor, and that is what we have. But Lear also noted right here, it will spark debate and split fandom. There will be lots of people not happy with the decision, but it's up to the new series to change their mind. Sebastian Brooke, editor of Doctor Who Online. Today's announcement has been a shock for many fans, but this is a show about change. And perhaps now is the time that we all get behind the idea of a female Doctor. I must admit, I've always been of the opinion that the Doctor is and should be a man. He is always identified as a male in the series, and after 50-plus years, it's certainly going to take some getting used to, but I support the show, and Jodie is a fantastic actress, so she gets my full support as well. Why the hell aren't you all acting like that? There's a lot of people out there who are stamping their feet, like I said, and acting like children. You're not entitled to anything. You're not in this life. And if you think you are, all I can say is to quote the Princess Bride, what do you call it? It's not fair. Who said life was fair? Where is that written? Matter of fact, life is pain, Highness. Anyone who tells you different is trying to sell you something. Another of my favorite lines of The Princess Bride. Beginning of The Princess Bride, reaction to a new Doctor. Now the dust has settled on the announcement of the casting of Jodie Whittaker as 13th Doctor. We can access reactions from around the world, which have been pouring in. And, of course, there's Colin Baker, Sylvester McCoy, Peter Davison, Janet Fielding. Alex Kingston had a very amusing thing, and I've got a separate thing for that, so you can actually go watch it. Press reaction was overwhelmingly positive. Telegraph, by the way, is also another paper out there putting out our nude shots. Yeah, real tasty. Really, really, tasteful, I mean. Did I have a slip? Okay, Variety also thinks that it's about time a woman took on the role. Time Magazine thought it was about time that we had a female doctor. Time Magazine, folks. You can't pay for advertisement that like this is done. A lot of people are jumping up and down saying, well, it's a publicity stunt. Well, if it is, it sure as hell is working. All right, opinion is once more split amongst the fans, with many taking to social media to express their disappointment with what they feel is an overly PC decision. Yeah, next time a guy's poking a gun in your head while you're being mugged, tell him, will you quit being so PC? See how that works out. I am so sick and tired of hearing the words PC. Unless you're referring to Peter Capaldi, I'm getting sick of that too. Also, my other favorite, social justice warrior. Really? Sounds like the name of a bad wrestling contestant. One that never even made it out of the 80s. All right. However, the reaction of one young fan to the news reported here in the Huffington Post summed up the importance of the casting to many. I don't even want to make sense of that. All right, but finally, the British Prime Minister. Oh, let's not even discuss what she wants. All right, moving on. Jodie Whittaker will play a doctor on TV screen sooner than you think. She's going to be starring in sorry, I had this in my brain a minute ago, but okay, she'll be all right. And trust me, we'll see Whittaker as an imposter doctor, a far cry from the alien life form she'll be a doctor. So this is an upcoming role that she has, and I'm very sorry, but like I said, I've been really crunching on this all day, and there's been 1,000,000,005 articles to go through because of all the craziness out there. It's been really, really tough. So she's going to be playing a doctor or a fake doctor in this particular series. So we'll go check it out. All right, if you're into that kind of thing. All right, moving on. A final Australian ratings for the Doctor falls. 543,000 consolidated viewers in the 5 major capital series with 83,000 extra viewers. It is the 3rd highest time-shifted program of the day and the 11th highest overall. And that is pretty damn good for Aussies. All right, moving on. Let's hope. And this little bit here on Twitter, like I said, I couldn't find the actual clip anywhere else, so I'm going to leave you a link to watch this on Twitter. And this is about Moffat talking about Doctor's legacy and the best thing about working on the show. And okay, and this is the one about Alex Kingston's reaction. And like I said, here's a link to the video if you want to watch it. It's pretty damn funny. But once again, I cannot stress this enough. I've seeing more, well, I said, a lot of people are saying it's 50-50, 60-40, 70-30. I've been watching a lot of reaction videos over the last day or so, and I've only seen one angry reaction out of like 30 I've watched. But it seems to me like on all the forums and all the places where you don't have to show your face, there's a whole lot of unnecessary hatred. There's a whole lot of unnecessary division. There's a whole lot of unnecessary bullshit. Folks, this show has to evolve. It has to change. It has to grow. If you keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, it gets boring. It gets stupid. It just stagnates on the vine and drops off and withers. You have to keep change going, especially on a show that the central whole theme is about change. So what more can I say? Like I said, I'm trying not to be angry with people in the comments. Like I said, I'm dying laughing. The one guy told me to lose weight, and he spelled a weight, W-A-I-T. Jesus Christ, man, get an education before you call me fat, you dumbass. All right. I had to say that. That just made me laugh my ass off. Lose some weight, W-A-I-T. It's like, no duh. Like, I don't know I'm fat, jerk off. Oh, well. So until next time, everybody, please keep your heads on your shoulders. Don't march on Rothlock with pitchforks and like flaming torches and stuff. Just be level-headed. Be sensible. Be a damned Whovian. Be grown up. because it's just amazing to me that this show has given people 54 years of wisdom. And yet it seems to me like there's a whole lot of people who ain't learned a damn thing from it. So until next time, take care and take care of yourselves and each other. I just had a Springer moment. Damn, I'm getting out of here.